All right. I'll admit it. I was wrong all the way around. Warriors win the NBA Finals in Game 6 and ruin my initial prediction of Celtics in 6. They ruined everything. I can't win shit on this show. Every prediction I seem to make just goes out of the water. So, I don't know what else there is to do except, quit. I suck at this. No, get that shit out of here. I ain't quitting. Predictions change with results, okay? Initially, before the playoffs even started, I had Bucks and Suns in the rematch of the NBA Finals, okay? It's a long season, momentum changes, and I admit defeat. I have my rights, I have my wrongs. This is where I was wrong, okay? Let's go over the NBA Finals. Welcome to Drake's Corner, everybody. Episode, almost 40. I'm not sure on the number right now, but we'll get to that. You'll see it in the title. Don't be lazy. Go ahead and look, please. Anywho, so yeah, let's take a look at the NBA Finals. Warriors win their fourth championship in the last 8 years. Incredible. 50% of the championships in the last 8 years have gone to the Warriors, and they've been in 6 of the 8 as well. 75%. That's incredible. They're a dynasty. You can't change the fact, all right? Let's take a look. Celtics defense, obviously incredible. They have great interior defense. They have great perimeter defenders. It seems like after Game 3 that the Celtics kind of had an edge on the Warriors, defensively. They were getting better shots. They were getting open threes. The Warriors kind of flipped the script on them, though. They came up defensively as well. It seemed like they had 4 to 5 guys who could score at will at a point, and the Celtics maybe had 1 or 2, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. When you have Andrew Wiggins, who was a main factor in the Warriors win, as a fourth option, an all-star starter as your fourth option. Now, the all-star starting kind of deal with Andrew Wiggins was kind of a controversy, but when you have him as your fourth option, and he's close to averaging 20 points a game in the finals, that's a success waiting to happen, and the Warriors did succeed. Jordan Poole was the real savior of the year, adding another lethal scorer, kind of put him to another pedestal, and Klay Thompson came back, and they had Andrew Wiggins as well, Draymond distributing, and, guys like Kuminga, Gary Payton, the second off the bench. The Celtics simply have 2 reliable scorers at any moment, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, while the Warriors have 4 to 5, like I stated before. Anybody in the Warriors scheme with perimeter defenders guarding Klay and Steph, the way they are, just the Splash Brothers, we know how they are. The way that they're guarded from the hip and, defensively face guarded, it will be hard for a player off that bench, on the Warriors bench, in that scheme to not average over 10. It's going to work for anybody. That's why guys like Gary Payton are averaging good numbers. That's why Jordan Poole stepped up. The Warriors scheme is absolutely genius. And hats off to Steve Kerr for giving players, letting them spread their wings a little bit, kind of giving them a say in what they do, Warriors stepped up defensively and Celtics stepped down offensively. There's absolutely zero way to guard Stephen Curry. Guard him from the hip, you give him corner kickouts and layups. Face guard him, you get pick and roll, switching defenders. It doesn't work, okay? You had Al Horford guarding him in the last basically 8 minutes of the game in Game 6, and, they couldn't get any scoring going the Celtics' way in the slightest. Jason Tatum completely turned off. Jaylen Brown was the only guy doing anything. You have to hope for a cold night. But when you have a cold night like Game 5 for Curry, they still win. And that's when it was 100% over all the way around. When Stephen Curry went 0 for 9 from 3, not even scoring 20 points in Game 5, that's when the script kind of flipped. I knew it was over. The Celtics didn't even get over 100 points. Warriors defense stepped up. It was a complete flip-flop of game plan from, Celtics kind of took a step back. Warriors took a step up. It was a change in pedestal after Game 3. It's incredible. All right, so, a lot of talk goes around the Warriors and everything. But let's talk about Stephen Curry. Curry's all-time ranking has been the main topic of discussion if he wins this finals, if he wins finals MVP. The all-time ranking has been discussed. Is he top 10? Quite possibly top 5. Do you even dare say top 3? Curry's all-time ranking, he has 2 legit rings as the main guy. His accolades are untouched. He has incredible accolades. The finals MVP count is the only thing that dwindles an asterisk above his top 10 ranking, no doubt, okay? in my personal opinion, he sits between top 10 and top 5 for me, maybe around that 7 or 8 range. That's my personal opinion. I think on my video where I gave my top 10 NBA players of all time, if you want to go check that out, I had Stephen Curry, at 11, Kevin Durant at 10. I think he jumps Durant, and maybe a few other guys in that list. But if you look at guys above him like Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, the finals, when they were the main guy for their team, it was undoubted that they were unanimous Finals MVP, okay? But when you had 2015, Iguodala, the 2 rings with Durant, obviously he was the main guy, while Curry only has 1, and those guys have multiple. So now Curry has that 1 Finals MVP under his belt where this is a real ring, this is a tough ring, a tough-fought ring, and that he has Finals MVP, unanimous, played incredible during the entire Finals, okay? He has 1 of those. Jordan, 6, LeBron, 4, Kobe, 2 against, he took down the dynasty in Boston. Okay, and he put up amazing numbers when he was teamed up with Shaq too. Let's not get that twisted. But when it's all said and done, I firmly believe Curry will be top 5 and quite possibly top 3. I think it's going to take another ring, another Finals MVP, quite possibly another regular season MVP as well. Maybe a few all-pro team, selections. Okay, and Curry's 34. Let's not get that twisted here. There's not a ton of time left. I really think that players are evolving to where I'm seeing guys like Curry in their middle 30s, LeBron late 30s, they're playing at such a high level at that age, it's crazy. I think only in history we've seen one guy who could play till into his 40s and still kind of dominate. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was playing into his late 30s and still just wrecking the NBA, okay? But when it's all said and done, yeah, Curry top 5, I think he'll finish there. That shooting ability that he has is the best age factor, and when it comes to player attributes, his shooting talent, it doesn't go away. You don't lose the strap, okay? You don't lose that. And, Draymond has the facilitating factor. They're not going to lose that either. Clay, same deal. They're just, you don't lose that shooting talent as you get older. I mean, it doesn't look like Curry's speed is going down at the age of 34, but I think he has 4 to 5 good years left in him. I really do. That shooting ability is not going to go away. And I think, in the near future, we're going to see players, still playing at a lethal, better level than we've seen before with players in their mid-30s. I think just, the style of basketball is evolving. Humans are getting stronger, faster every day to the point where in your middle 30s, late 30s, you can still play, at the prime of your game. Look at LeBron, look at Curry, look at Durant, look at Harden. Those type of guys, they're still playing 25-10 stat lines. Okay, and when, players hit their, 32, 33 range, it's been expected in the past that they're going to, take a step down. But to guys like right now, it's not happening. Curry, 34-year-old Finals MVP. So, I mean, I firmly believe that it's a lot different now no duh. But at the same time, back in 80s and 90s, once players hit their 30s, fall off the face of the earth. Now the players who are still the best in the league are in their 30s. So speaking of that, I mentioned James Harden. His contract situation's kind of dwindling. We kind of have a supermax situation on the rise. Is James Harden worth a supermax? So if they sign him to a 5-year deal, or you'll be paying him $30 million, in that $30 to $45 million a year mark, when he's 37 years old. On paper, a short-term deal seems like the way to go, test the waters with this Embiid-Harden duo for a few years. But I think we're seeing an uprising, in NBA players still excelling in their mid-30s like Bron and Steph. Having Harden as a second option for another 5 years would not hurt with Embiid's development, okay? If you have that duo for 5 years, sticking with the same crew could develop chemistry and a better group of role players around the two. This could, most definitely be a championship contending team if they get the right squad around them, okay? They kept Tyrese Maxey and Matisse Thybulle throughout the trade deadline. And Tyrese Maxey looks like a promising scorer, kind of like Jordan Poole for the Warriors. Matisse Thybulle, that defense is incredible. He's probably one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. So, if they build this team around that big four there, Harden, Embiid, Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, they have good role players off the bench as well. I think the Sixers can make a push for a championship here, give it 5 years. Harden's the second option, a 37-year-old Harden as your second option with Embiid, developing nicely. It's not too bad at all. And if you get these guys developing, the younger guys like Maxey, I think this can be a real onslaught of scoring. I think Harden, when he's mid-30s, kind of getting older, he'll be more of that facilitating role, but still be able to pull that step back three out of his hat. The catching fouls, kind of his same game. I think his game is going to age well too. He's a 2010 guy. He's at superstar level. Guys like that deserve the supermax, in my opinion. And yeah, so I saw on First Take, JJ Redick mentioned, do you want to pay a 37-year-old Harden that amount of money? With Curry playing the way he is at 34, Harden he's not Houston Harden, but he's the second option for a reason now. 37 years old, with the way that players are still excelling right now, I'm comfortable with it. I'm going to be honest. What do you guys think? Does Harden deserve the supermax contract? The top thing you can get, 37 years old. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think. Anyway, main event of the show, another NBA season to the end tonight. It's currently 1 a.m., so I put together this outline, and we're going to talk about 2023 NBA Finals, kind of, 2022, 2023 NBA season. My way too early NBA predictions. All right, we're going to go through MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals prediction. My MVP, Joel Embiid, okay? At that center position, there was really no stopping him. It seemed like he could score from basically anywhere. He was a defensive monster. He maybe had a few injuries throughout the season, but nothing, that put him at a halt. He's a regular season machine. And with Harden being the second option for an entire full season next year, Embiid's efficiency will skyrocket. Okay, he's going to get the best shot he can. He's going to get a ton more rebounds. He's going to get better shots with Harden dishing, being the facilitator that he is. I think Embiid's field goal percentage will go up. I think his efficiency will rise, and I think he'll put up maybe close to the same stat line we saw this year. Depending on how Jokic plays, how other guys like Luka, I think a lot of these younger guys are going to jump in for that MVP race. Joel Embiid's one of those guys that I think, is just going to play maybe the same, if not better. Efficiency-wise, I think it will skyrocket. So, and, he played with Harden probably half the season this year. His numbers, went nuts either which way, with or without Harden. So, I think that efficiency will be the main factor in the MVP voting next year. Defensive Player of the Year, we saw him tonight. We saw him going on a block party. Robert Williams was the best interior defender for the Celtics and was having, a block party, like I said, all season and throughout the entire playoffs. If he can stay healthy, he can be the best shot blocker in the league. Okay, this guy gives me big Ben Wallace vibes, maybe bigger. He is a very good, layup just swatter. Okay, he blocks guards going into the lane every time. The Warriors really couldn't get a lot of those interior layups that they got for the first few games of the finals until they started switching defenders. But when Robert Williams was down there was no hope for them. And you can probably guess with a lot of other teams, Robert Williams is going to succeed a lot more if he's playing that way at the pinnacle of talent and effort in the finals. It's not going to shock me if Robert Williams comes out and wins Defensive Player of the Year. That's my prediction there. And my finals prediction. Next year, I have the Warriors and the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, Giannis, I think we forget, who he is. The Celtics really put a stop to it defensively. Middleton was out. I think that was a big factor. A lot of the guys that excelled in the first round for the Bucks and the second round kind of just dwindled away. And they still brought it to 7 games and put up a good effort against the Celtics. But Giannis isn't that guy that shoots for a good effort. His second main scorer was gone. And on the Warriors' hand, they're just leagues above a lot of West teams right now. The Suns, poised themselves to be a playoff contender 2 years ago, but that was when Lakers just absolutely landfill, and the Warriors, not healthy at all. So the Suns, made their regular season run, made a playoff run in the kind of the weaker West side 2 years ago, and now they kind of just look like a regular season team. That's the only threat I see to the Warriors right now. Don't be shocked if the Mavericks go nuts here next year regular season wise. Luka's a great regular season player. They just traded for Christian Wood, Rockets center. So keep an eye out for the Mavericks. I have the Mavericks, Warriors, and Suns as the 3 elite teams in the West next year. But I think the Warriors right now, the way they're playing is unstoppable. The way that you guard them, it's unstoppable. But who knows? Maybe they'll have a bad series. You can't catch them on a bad day, though, because next game, it's it's different. They don't have 2 bad games in a row. That's not how they work. Anywho, so yeah, I got Warriors and Bucks. I think Giannis is just leagues above a lot of, probably any East superstar. And the Warriors, team-wise, they're a lot better. Yeah, those are my 2 teams in the finals. And that is the finale of the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It has been a pleasure admitting my defeats at the start of the show. And, just going through the finals with y'all. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have a good one. And I'll see you next episode. Peace.